He's probably getting a few more bench
Couple of
presses in before he comes on, isn't he? If he comes on with just wearing a vest, I'm gonna.
minutes.
It's one of my favourite bands is Erasure, so straight away. Anyway, we won't go
I
there.
don't think you're going to give him a little respect, are
Oh, come on, come
you?
on. He's a bit of a victim of love, isn't he? But it gives me great pleasure to introduce episode 131 of the Sussex by the Sea Roundtable and Isthmian Roundtable, I may add. I've got some lovely, wonderful guests on as usual. We have Rob from Folkestone, John from Canvey, Robbo from Horsham, Mark from Whitehawk. He's not in his gym gear. He's not hulking up yet. Yeah, Hulkamania is running wild with Mark. We are going to take the piss out of you, Mark. Be prepared. And Tom from Hastings. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Evening.
Evening all.
Evening all. As we do with this podcast, because we've got a first timer on, Tom, I've interviewed before, but he is first time on the round table. So we're going to ask you, Tom, firstly, how did you fall in love with your club, be it Hastings? Tell me that story.
So I first fell in love with the club. It was pretty much shortly after we'd had the FA Cup run, which Razor, our current interim manager, sort of got us through to the third round proper. Just recently moved to the area at the time from Kent, and then didn't know really too much about the club. And then shortly after they got to the third round, I kind of went to my first game after that. And just since then, been going back pretty much every season, basically.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Come on. So, any particular highlights other than that FA Cup run?
Probably sort of winning the league as well, seeing us win on our home soil back when we were in the Isthmian Southeast at the time, and then getting promoted back to Isthmian Premier. Seeing it on the day as well, at my birthday at the Pilot Field, I think that was a great occasion.
What perfect birthday.
So yeah, I was really pleased for that. And then obviously getting involved in the club with sort of doing the match day duties now as well, going from a supporter to a volunteer. It's kind of two different things.
Yeah, yeah. But you've been doing that for it's got to be
Uh,
10 months now. Have you been doing the comms and that?
Probably about that, yeah. But no, it's all going really well and sort of loving it. It's great, just not only just having people sort of from the club coming on board and helping out, but also just from other clubs as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think did you talking now because we got what clubs we got on here. Have you had any co-commentating from clubs that we got on here at the moment?
No, I haven't actually at the
Well,
moment.
maybe they can all have words with their people next time, or they've all got probably separate stuff. But yeah, so the commentating going well. Definitely getting better. I noticed because you're getting a little bit of a cheeky chappy to you now. I like the bit at the end of the last game, unfortunately, where we lost to Wingate. When you said we're playing Tuesday against Deal, will it be Deal or no deal? I mean, there's a little bit, trying to throw a few brutal bits of humour in there.
I tried to add that into the script somehow. It's been quite a hard one to sort of write about, to be honest, but I've included something about that in there.
Right in. So I've got you on. We're going to talk Hastings quickly. From your point of view, unfortunately with me and work, I haven't been able to make as many games as I should have done. So I can't talk about all of the games this episode, but yourself, Tom, so you were there, both home and away. I mean, it's excellent service for anyone that's a Hastings fan, obviously. Tell us, what's it been like watching Hastings?
I think obviously with Razor sort of being interim manager for the moment, I think obviously he knows the group of players that he's working with because he's been a stalwart figure at the club for quite a while. And also the players, I think they kind of looked up to him quite quickly because he sort of knows what to get out of them, if you like. So when we're Bloor in charge, it was kind of almost a different kind of attitude, a different mindset. But with Razor, he sort of got the team sort of more playing comfortably on the ball, like telling them what to do and instructing them all game, basically. And there's also, I think, less of the dissent now as well, coming from...
Well, from Razor? Razor's always on the edge of getting sent off, isn't he?
Well, I mean, it's only been about, 2 or 3 games, but so far he's kept it cool on the sideline.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, which I think sort of helps the players out as well.
Yeah. So when Danny went, were you surprised?
Um,
Were you a massive fan of Danny?
well, I don't really
I know he isn't, so yeah, go on.
Opinion, but
Yeah.
I think we did need that change though at the right time because obviously you could see like sort of things weren't working out one way or another. I sort of think having sort of Sean in for the moment's definitely sort of calmed a lot of tension, if you like, just amongst the players and probably a few supporters as well.
Yeah. Because you're involved with the club, any little whispers about who might be taking over? I mean, I've got a few ideas myself, but like anything you're
Well,
willing to whisper out?
well, I said on Saturday at Wingate, managed to see James McCrossan actually. It
All
was
right.
that
Yeah.
he was in the dugout with Sean, and just by chance, I sort of just struck up conversation asking him if there was a possible chance he was going to be coming back to the club and doing something with them.
Hmm.
But he didn't really want to reveal too much at the stage. But you
He
never
was
know. It
doing
might
a sort of video work when he, James McCrossan, he was more like analysis, he's video analysis, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I haven't heard anyone other than that.
So I could add a few names. Obviously, Andrew Brown, who's he's at Brighton now, and used to be at Hastings when Aggie was there. Obviously, Ben Cornelius, the football genius that's gone up to Worthing, you know, that's another name. And yeah, I won't mind those names. There's a few others, but Tony Russell, former Lewis manager, he's out of work at the moment, so possibly that might be one. Doesn't really jump out to me as someone that if he's still out of work, it's probably a reason why he is out of work. Maybe he's waiting for something, or I don't know. Well, I mean, what do you think, Tom?
I think, well, whoever they decide to get in, obviously, you know, we don't want to go down the route of another Danny Bloor. Sort of want someone who's obviously going to get us kind of to where we should be and sort of not towards the bottom half of the table.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, let's talk games. Let's just talk games. So the games that we've had since the last episode, we quickly go through them. So we played Whitehawk first game. I wasn't there. I was listening to your commentary, but it sounded like quite a good one not to be watching. And a couple of scrappy goals won it. Tom, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, again, we started obviously the game well with, you know, Dicko getting the early goal for us. But yeah, I think White certainly had a lot of possession sort of during the game, and Robinson as well. Really, really good player for them. John and I were saying, who was doing the commentary with me, we sort of agreed that they really look threatening down the right, and Walker every time just getting outbeaten completely by him. And then second half, I think Finn was rather fortunate just to get a free kick for us. And then yeah, the
He
other
dived.
well, it's quite hard to really sort of see. He might have got something to the ball. The player took him down, but there wasn't really a lot of contact in it, to be honest.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, scrappy 2-0. You didn't make that game, did you, Mark?
No, mate, I didn't make it. Thank God.
Yeah. But did any of your boys give you any feedback on the game?
Yeah, my mate went down. His feedback was that we probably were unlucky to lose by 2 goals. He said on the ball, like Tom's just said, possession-wise, we were we had quite a lot of possession, created a few chances, but we just had no killer instinct in front of goal, and that was what our downfall is at the minute. So I think that was literally the case from what I got told. But it wasn't a great spectacle as well, from what I was told.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a great game.
From what I could hear, it didn't sound it. Right then, quickly we can move on to our last game, which was Wingate, which I didn't expect us to get anything from anyway, even before Danny Bloor moved on. We lost 2-1 to mid Wingate. We got a consolation goal at the end, but kind of was it as predictable as it sounded, Tom? I mean, obviously you were there, mate.
To be honest, I think first half we played really much better the first half than we did the second. Faggy and David pretty much had the best efforts on target first half. Like Granger wasn't really kind of forced to make too much of serious saves, but then second half we just a cheap back pass, just gave away the first goal and then switched off literally for the second one 2 minutes later. And then obviously they got into a bit of a dispute with me, as you probably heard on the comms, about the goal scorer. But they thought it was Leo Young, and Leo wasn't on the pitch at all. And I was trying to tell them it was Chapman who got the goal.
You'd think you'd know, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but I think we're probably unfortunate to have lost the game in the end, where we could have sort of been ahead at half time because they didn't really that much threatening, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd say not surprised we lost that one, but we move on to Deal Town tomorrow night when we're recording this in the Champions League Velocity Cup. Any whispers on who's going to be playing or anything, Tom? Or do you think we're just going to stick a normal side out?
I reckon it'll probably be a normal side. Although I think sort of what we've heard the other day with Tyrone going as well to Wimbledon now as well.
Oh, he's gone now.
Well, I don't know for definite, but he's certainly, from what I'm aware, he's like on a trial.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really heard of anyone going or anyone new coming in.
Okay. Anyone got any boots fancy playing on Tuesday at the Pilot Field? No? No, all right.
Always count me in, if we are short.
Yeah, no, we'll have a go, but yeah, well. Anyway, okay. Oh, Jesus. So, because we lost Callum Barlow, someone who come in a week or two ago to Whitehawk, actually, who's got a couple of goals against quite a poor Shoreham team, but look, lively. He'd been playing for, was it Bognor?
Bognor, yeah.
Yeah, but he's 7-day notice and he's gone to Whitehawk, so I think he'll do well for you a lot. To be honest, I think he's a sort of kind of like a spoiler, sort of all arms and elbows. Someone
a cup game earlier on.
Yeah, he was with us. He was with us pre-season, I believe.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, because I bumped into him about a month ago down on the pitches on a Sunday morning. I walked past him and he went, "Oh, you go to Wild Games, didn't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, he went, "Oh, I'll play for Bognor." So when you messaged me, Chris, and said about it, I messaged him straight away and said, "You coming to the Hawks?" And he was like, "Yeah, mate." He said, "I'll be there next week." And he looked handy pre-season. I was quite surprised that we sort of just let him quite freely walk out the door, but we quite freely let a lot of players walk out the door in the summer. So it was a bit of a shambles. But yeah, no, I think it'd be a good addition to us.
Yeah. No,
we need someone. We need someone to put the ball in the net anyway. So it's like he does that.
Oh, quite a few of us need that. But right, anyway, let's move on to Rob from Folkestone. So, Rob, can we start with a Carl Shorten game, mate?
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Game you should have won. You're winning. What happened?
Yeah. I went to the game with my two lads.
Yeah.
I think we probably deservedly got beat. We had chances to get something out of the game, to win the game. In fact, when we was 1-0 up, we weren't by any means cruising at that point, but we had a chance in the second half. Header went over the bar from a bloke like Tom Derry, who's been excellent. He's brilliant in the air. If there was any player on the pitch you want the ball to fall to from across, it'd be him when he put it over the bar. There's a couple of other half chances we had, but to be fair to them, that is an unlucky. We don't do well at that ground, and they really did put it on us second half. After the game, I was fuming. I thought actually that maybe we had more of a chance than we did on the day, but really looking back at it, they probably deserved it. To be fair, they really did turn it on. So they had like 60 minutes of the game really.
Oh, okay.
And they really put it on us. So yeah, fair play to them. And then we had so that was a difficult one. I knew it was going to be difficult.
And then there's another difficult one.
Oh God! Then we had Dover. That was the big that was, and everything about the night as the first game we had at their place. It felt like it was a massive night, and I think all the tickets were gone by about 6 o'clock, mostly online, which is something I don't think it's just something we just started doing. So that's a new thing for the club. Apparently we turned like close to 500 people away at the gate. There's lots of people turning up without tickets trying to get in.
Yeah. And
it was like queuing from both gates, either opposite end of the ground. It was queuing for quite a way. People trying to get in who had tickets. So and the Dover game. Okay, so a red card cost us basically in the second half. Another red card. We've been, and the manager said at the end of the game it was the worst decision he's ever seen. But I can't really have that. I think that I don't believe it's the worst decision he's ever seen. You can see probably why the referee gave a red card. It wasn't like a studs up vicious challenge. He was he went straight across the player and sort of caught him and went in hard and
modern era, that's the sending off. Modern era, you're struggling if you're putting in a challenge like that.
Yeah, and that's our centre forward, and he's been he's been the goal machine for us. He's been very good, and Dan Smith, and he went off. It was a striker's tackle. That's what my mate said to me, and I do agree with him there.
Yeah,
and then sort of like the rest of the, I reckon that was about 65 minutes, and then the rest of the time we were all over him. Like it was an amazing performance with 10 men. We couldn't think anything else but just how well the players played with 10 men. We had chances to come away with something out of the game, and they gave everything. And then and then at the end of the game there was a bit more than handbags really. Just that George Nickadge and a few of their other players sort of made a beeline to where our supporters were behind the goal. And went to the goalkeeper. I mean, it was mad. I mean, someone said to me that there was a possibility the players thought that we hadn't changed ends, because at the Dover game we weren't allowed to change ends, so we stayed where we were, which is unusual for this level. But we had, the supporters did swap ends in the second half, and it was proper partisan, mood in the ground. And to be fair, they nearly called us a little riot,
Yeah.
The support action. It was well out of order. Like what they did was just like, it was. And they said, "Oh, we did it to them at their play." I'm not having, then I don't recall. I'm not being biased or anything. I'm just, I'm not saying our players are in that sense. I'm just, they sort of give it a moral high ground a fair bit, but that's just them all over. They think they don't deserve to be in this league, and they are. So
what happened, Rob? Sorry,
he wandered off, didn't he, Rob? He was doing a few. He had a few bicep curls he was pulling off camera.
Who kicking off again?
Not me, mate. To be fair, the 23-year-old in me, the one I keep. He was thinking, right, that's it, I'm on. And I had my foot on the wall, and my body was going, no, don't go to the wall. I wasn't livid. I was so livid. In fact, I was so livid when I got home. I didn't sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning, and they had the American election, and I sort of was watching that, and it was interesting. But I was like, you know what I mean? I could feel like the blood pressure in my head pumping.
So was it the Dover fan? Was it the Dover fans kicking off? Was it?
It was their players.
Oh, the players. Sorry. Oh, right. Okay.
They were all at one end of the ground, their supporters. Yeah. And some of them ran towards their supporters, but the majority of them went towards our support, and they were like really mugging us. It was bad.
Proper derby.
Some support were on the pitch.
I see the video. Like you just see a couple of them running one direction and a couple running the other. Like, what the hell are you going? I mean, didn't they cave in like the advertising hoarding behind the goal as well up their end?
Yeah, the barrier behind the goal went over. I don't know if they knocked that out because I thought it was concreted in. But it was a proper derby anyway. When you come home and you sleep on it and you think, well, it was a game you'd be pleased to be part of in that league because it's a really, you want that sort of game. But on the night, I was just livid with it. Anyway, so that's a Dover game. And then we played Cray at the weekend, and we got a result. Although they missed a penalty, we saved their penalty. 1-1 wasn't massively convincing. But we got the 3 points. I did notice that I was standing behind a dugout, and their assistant manager turned around and sort of said, "All the fucking money they spent down here, and they can only beat us 1-0 type thing." That's what I heard. I said, "Yeah, you got a fair point." Only 3 points is 3 points, but we can't finish teams off. We wasted a fair few chances, and we seem to be sort of hanging on at the end of the games. A lot of games, which not saying you necessarily expect more, but it's just not massively convincing. But then again, 3 points is 3 points. So it's been an interesting week. We had 3 really good games, and we got 3 points out of those 3 games. So so it is what it is. We're still not that far away from the playoffs. Not that one. We've got a run of home games now. We've got a few home games now.
I won't rip that betting slip up yet, mate. I'm not going to rip it up.
Hopefully you've got it in an email, mate.
Yeah, where? What was I going to say? Right, who shall we go to? Let's go to, I'll tell you what, let's go to Mark from Whitehawk before he goes off to do a few more pull-ups. Right.
Hello, gents. I've been to the gym tonight, as you all know. It's a regular occurrence of mine. I mean, I would take it up if I was you. It's a very good hobby, so we'll get that out of the way. Yeah.
What, taking pictures of yourself at the gym?
You loved it. That's going up on your wall, that is. You love it.
We were saying the arms of that Brighton shirt just going to get shorter and shorter and shorter as time goes on.
Just going to get fatter and fatter, I got it for a birthday present. They got me a medium, and I was like, that's fucking brave. I don't know about that. Hello. I hope you're all good. Anyway,
yeah,
Tom,
good.
Nice to welcome someone new. Anyway, to the pod. So, Tom, welcome anyway.
Start off with the Billericay game, yeah? That good draw.
Yeah, actually, we'll go from that. Yeah, Billericay was a good point. I mean, it was, again, it wasn't the best game in the world to watch. I think both sets of fans would agree on that. But a clean sheet at home against arguably one of the strongest sides in the league. So I was quite proud of that performance, to be honest. It was a point where the boys were just digging in. They were just fighting for everything. And we had a few more efforts on goal that game than what we'd had previously. So, I mean, they were going over to the end of East Brighton after these shots, but at least we were getting them in. It was nice to see. Good point. Thought we would sort of build on that. but we just haven't. And it just, I mean, fancy losing to Hastings and then fancy losing to Canvey. You know what I mean? It's just dire. But yeah, I mean, like we touched on earlier with the Hastings game, like I said, my mate of mine said that, you know, the pitch was quite heavy, long grass, which sort of suited Hastings probably a bit more. And you defended really well from all accounts, what I heard. But again, it's just that being clinical in front of goal. We haven't got anybody at the minute who can put the ball in the back of the net. The one player we thought would be that player was we had a player called Botti come in, and he was a bit of a unit, lanky, runs around like mental, nice long wavy hair, like slicked back, proper like Italian looking. And he scored a couple of goals and out of nowhere just leaves. So that was a bit strange. So I think we're probably pushing about 40 odd players played so far this season throughout the squad. One positive is our goalkeeper. We finally found what looks to be a solid number one. I think he's our fourth this season we've had so far between the sticks. So, but he saved a couple of penalties. I know on Saturday he saved the penalty, didn't he, John? And then got the follow up. But
that's right. Yeah, he was quite unlucky. I'll give him his dues because he done really well to push it onto the crossbar, but it's just fell. Just got that to a little bounce, just take it back into the path of our boys at the penalty. So he was unlucky in that regard.
Yeah. So I mean, it's quite nice. We've got a looks like a decent shot stopper, decent goalkeeper. But and then the Canvey game. I mean, John would know a lot more than what I did. I couldn't make it, but I mean, I thought we would just push on quite positively from the Billericay draw, and then it seemed we'd just come back crashing back down to earth again. And to be honest, nothing looked that positive at the minute. From what I'm told, obviously with Barlow coming in, that's a positive. Hopefully, you can do a solid job, but we need more players. We need players that are capable of playing at this level as well. The club, and from what I'm hearing, keep coming out and saying we're signing players, and either they're signing players and they're not good enough, or they're just not signing players. So it's one or the other. So we just can't. I mean, I spoke to somebody yesterday who mentioned Danny Bloor's name, and I just started getting wound up. I was like, do not mention that name to me. I was like, I will not be done over.
That is a cone to be avoided. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
I know. I mean, obviously going after what you boys have been saying about him, and he didn't really have the dressing room at Hastings by the sounds of it. So,
but it might work. Honestly, though, Mark, like what. It's about personalities as well, isn't it? Someone can walk into a club and it just don't work. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Don't mean that they're going to be shit at the other club. I mean, he obviously did a good job up the league, so he's no joke, is he? I mean,
yeah. I think if our squad was more stable and we actually had even a spine to the team, then you'd sort of go, well, at least he'll have something to work off. But because there's just no. I mean, Kai scored on Saturday, which was really good to see. I mean, he's literally he was our shining light last season. Got him on loan from AFC Wimbledon, and I'm surprised he's back. To be honest, I'm surprised he's not playing higher up. But I mean, he's probably looking at the squad and the team and going, "What the fuck have I come back to here?" I mean, all we had to do, quite simply, at the end of last season, was build on what we had. We finished so strong. And I don't know what's happened, to be honest. It's just sad to see, and it's as much as I love nothing more than following a team that's playing shit, because when you get them wins, it feels so much better.
Exactly.
But,
yeah.
But the difference is it just seems like, I mean, people will say they care, but I come on here and I'll say pretty much every time, just seems like people at the top level don't know what they're doing. And yeah, it's just frustrating. I think they've got their head in the clouds with their predictions or where we should be or what we should be doing, because it's just not realistic.
All right.
So yeah, it's really happy.
You got Wingate on Saturday.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, mate.
Thank you. It's gonna be dire. But
you never know.
You never know. Football's a funny old game, isn't it? And we all know what can happen. So I'm always optimistic. Every week I'm optimistic that we'll get a result. But the season's still only early.
Yeah.
As many games as we've played already, and as excited as some fans want to be for where they are in the league, it's so much can happen between now and the end of the season in this league, and anyone can literally beat anybody on their day. So it's still the point. If you look at the league table from where we are to, I don't know, 8th or whatever, there's not much difference in it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's only a couple of wins and then we're back up there. So yeah, trying to be optimistic, Chris.
Yeah, no, good, mate.
Yeah.
So honestly, so where was this Danny Bloor rumor then? Where'd you get that from?
I got that
Sources.
a source, which is
Deep throat.
a good source, to be fair, but it's some. Take it all with a pinch of salt. You don't know what's going on with these clubs, do you?
Yeah.
You don't know what's happening. So yeah,
there's the racetrack near you. So yeah, Bloor's all over it, mate. He's at Whitehawk.
Oh yeah. Well, funny enough, a couple of weeks ago, the Billericay game, Steve King was down there with Darren Freeman floating around. Right. So
interesting.
One of the boys said to him, because he was standing there taking notes as well, standing next to me basically. So I was looking, and I couldn't be asked to talk to him, to be honest. But yeah, my mate said to him, "Oh, are you coming back?" And I think he said something along the lines of, "Don't know, maybe, or we'll see." But I think he'll want a budget, which is ridiculous. So and from when the team he had to the team we've got now, it's just chalk and cheese. So we haven't got Danny Mills up top, we haven't got Sergio Torres and players like that anymore. So we've got some boys that should be playing probably a division below. But yeah, that's what. Yeah. But it's all good. It's all good. We will get 3 points, I believe.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. Okay, right. I'll tell you what, John. We go to you, John Canvey. Go to you, sir. So, can you start from the Chichester game?
Yeah. I mean, I'll start from there, and I'll give Mark a bit more recent positivity in a minute. I'll get on to his one, but yeah, Chichester. I don't know. We went into that one, I suppose, feeling a little bit more confident than we did at the start of the season because we'd come off the back of a good October. And then for some reason, we decided to, I don't know, just turn up and play rubbish. I mean, it was an odd one because to begin with in the game, we were all over them. I'm not even trying to, big us up. Like it was a case of we were forcing them into mistakes at the back. If we had just been more clinical, we could have been about 3 up in 20 minutes. And then they just took one long ball down to the big number 9 and he scores. So it's like, that's typical gambling performance all over. But yeah, I'll be honest, I'll give that Chichester their dues in terms of, I think they got sort of oodles of quality across the pitch, save for the number 9. I think if someone with a bigger budget in the area is looking just for an old school, scores your goals, just get him in that position, that Jimmy Wild is someone should take a punt on. Because, yeah, he ran us ragged that afternoon. Yeah, I mean, like I say, he scored. Then we got the most freak equaliser ever. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It was floating around on Twitter. Literally, their goalkeeper, I think we've gone again to put him under pressure, which what we were doing for a lot of the first half. And he's just kicked it, and he's just hit one of our midfielders on the head. And from about 40 yards, his head has just floated in because the goalkeeper's well off his line. It was the most bizarre equaliser.
John, send us that, mate. I'd love to see that.
I will. I'll send it to you afterwards. It's floating about on there. But yeah, I mean, we sort of went in half time 1-1. We thought, all right, okay, we've had our chances. Let's try and keep that ante up, and we'll have these second half. But we did the exact opposite. We come out. We're the ones who looked shaky at that point. We started making so many stupid mistakes in the midfield, so many wayward passes, and which made it easy for them with their 2 goals. Again, it was just hoofing the ball long, getting it on the break, and I think they got a corner out, and one of them scrambled that in, and yeah, then that got it down to the big number 9. He scored again. Their captain had a moment of madness after that. You think 3-1 up, okay, don't even think stupid. He literally goes to try and smack our winger, gets himself a straight red, which was probably the daftest thing he could have done. But from there on in, I kind of knew they were just going to stick all 10 men behind the ball, defend what they had. I mean, they were entitled to do that at that point anyway. We got the penalty, put that away well. But yeah, we had a couple of chances, try and level it up. But it was just a bit the same as in the first half, really. We were just so indecisive in front of goal, just making so many bad final decisions, really, in terms of like that last pass or the shot we had. I mean, we got striker Chris Harris. He was quite good last month, and we even slotted him in for a nomination for Player of the Month, but he just went totally missing in that game. He just did not look like he knew how to shoot. It was a weird one. But yeah, I mean, that was that, and he felt, it's a bit annoying. We haven't really learned our lesson from Hampton Day. If the Velocity Cup's the most prestigious competition, Chris, then I suppose the Essex Senior Cup's like Europa League. Yeah, we to be fair, we exercised a demon in that during the week. We lost to a team called Buckhurst Hill in the Essex Senior League last season. We had like the most threadbare squad ever. I think there were 3 boys in the squad who never played for the club again. And I don't think they've played football again since. So going there with a full team this time was a bit better. That got Bradley Sage off the mark as well in coming back. So that was nice. And a nice little draw out of that as well. I think we got either Dagenham, Redbridge or Colchester United at home the next round. So we've been waiting for one of them because it seems like every year we avoid the bigger teams in that. I would have liked it away, but beggars can't be choosers. I'll tell you what we get. But yeah, Whitehawk game again. That was, I'll say, it probably quite similar to your game against them, really, in the sense that it probably wasn't the greatest advert ever for the neutral. Because, it seemed like both teams were trying to do something, but it's just failing at doing it. I mean, from our perspective anyway, we definitely weren't the best performance we had this season. We seemed like we were slipping again into just making those mistakes of giving away balls in midfield. And again, this is where I'll give Mark his bit of positivity. I thought on another day, you could have probably, like you were saying, if you could finish a bit better, you would have probably beat us quite comfortably, I think. It's why I try and build up Mark's confidence here. But no, like I say, I think you had good signs about you on the day, mate. Like you say, that Kai Jennings seems like a good player. He done well taking his goal. I think you had a good number 5 at the back. He was just all making it hard for our strikers to get in. Your goalkeeper looked good. So I think there's signs you could have a bit of a spine of a team there. It's just, you got to get, I suppose, just getting those results, and that will build the positivity, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, like I say, the sort of shape you were set up in seemed quite decent as well. And it was hard for us to break down a bit, but I think, again, it probably just come from maybe that lack of a little bit of experience with some of the players. I mean, that's where our equaliser come from. We got on a penalty. We've got a boy at the moment on loan from Swindon, Jackson Brown. He's just got lightning pace about him. So he's kind of the main threat for us at the moment, and he's sort of getting in behind. And I think he broke into the box. One of your defenders just chopped him down, and it's just giving us that route back into it. As I say, the keeper was very unlucky, I thought. He done well, turned it onto the crossbar, but just the little loop was just taking it back. And I think with Jackson's pace, he just beat the defenders, got us back into it. Then I'll say second half again. I don't know. We seemed quite sloppy at what we were doing. So you were getting a couple of chances. I think you dragged a couple wide. Our keepers had to save one quite well, and it seemed like until we made the subs, it looked like really if any team was going to go on in the key, it was Whitehawk. But we made those sort of little changes, started to show a bit more positivity up front, and just got that chance at the end and took it. I think. Obviously we got a striker like Brad Sage. You give him half that chance in front of goal. And I suppose that's one of the most frustrating things about the game as well, because he was getting dragged out wide a lot. And I think, no, just stick him down the bloody middle and he will get a goal. And he eventually did, yeah. So, that kind of got us a scrappy 3 points, but like you say, you take them all day long. That takes us into our red carpet moment of the week, that illustrious Met Gala trip to Dover. So, you got any tips, Rob, on how to beat them? Because, coming off of our last 2 performances, that could be an interesting one.
I've not got any tips particularly, but I'll just say kick them as hard as you can, mate.
To be fair, that is something we do know how to do, so that might be a shout. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one with us because we get them games where, we'll be playing the teams sort of around the bottom, maybe teams that on paper you'd want to beat. And then we seem to struggle in that regard. But then we go to the teams where we think, just don't go and get whooped. Like Chatham earlier in the season, and we come away with a result. It's just, you can never tell with us. It's an odd one. But it should be, interesting. I've never been to Crabble before, so that'll be a first at the weekend. Yeah, see how we get on.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, John, mate. Right, and over to Rob. Rob, if you could start from your FA Cup game at Chesterfield.
Yeah, no, Chesterfield was it was a good weekend. Really, we knew it's going to be a tough game. It was one of those things that you just go to enjoy and hope you get that moment, which we did. But I thought looking even on the day that they scored pretty early on, they went 1-0 up and within 4 or 5 minutes. And excuse me. And after that, I thought we got the ball down well. We played we got into really good areas. This is going to be a running theme, I think, with finishing chances. Like we get to the final third at the moment, and we'll go on to it with Chichester, but we're just not getting that killer instinct. And I think that was not necessarily against Chesterfield, but later on down. But no, it was that, and then we were getting stronger and stronger as the half went on. And then half time came, and they literally scored. Will Gregg scored again straight after half time, and that just killed it. Yeah. And then they went obviously 3 up, and then we got our moment with Dicko. So at least we got the goal. And I think the last 10, 15 minutes, we you could see what Don was doing. We kept Ola on the bench. We got Dan on the bench. We just kept the pace there. So hopefully that you could then counter attack. And they caused some major issues when they came on, but the game was done. But it was a good day out. We didn't disgrace ourselves at all.
How many did you take? Because I saw was it about 4,
so it's 500
or 4, 9 were there. So
it's 563 official Horsham fans. And I don't know if you've seen the footage on Twitter or anywhere, but we're all together. It seemed that it was a good day out. We made the noise, so we just didn't stop singing. So, and all the Chesterfield fans and everything were brilliant leading up to it. They're coming up to us and saying that we did the club proud. So that was the main thing. So that was a good, seems a lifetime ago now, but that was a good weekend. And the boys know what they're doing now. These things don't, they turn up and they know we've been fortunate. But I would say that Chesterfield, out of the two, Carlisle and Barnsley, Chesterfield were far the best team, like to watch, to play. And I think leading up into that game, I think I might have mentioned it last time on here. Like Chesterfield, they were non-league last year. They knew what it was all about. I don't think there was the element of surprise. But I also think replays has killed it. They played a strong team because you don't get that opportunity. So for a replay, so I think that played a part. And they brought on John Flett, the Scottish international. The squad's there, just there. It was a good day out. So and then we'll lead on to Chichester on the following Tuesday, which I think like John said, they're number 9 up top. It will cause a lot of team issues. With the height, they play to their strengths. They know what they're doing. A bit remind me in that sense, with a bit like Lewis, when they're Taylor up top. They'll play to his strengths. They'll kick it long. They'll aim for set pieces. It was just that was not a quality game whatsoever. Scrappy, and you could say, like, a lot of people, speaking to fans afterwards, were saying, "Oh, it's because you've done Chesterfield and you come on the Tuesday night." But the team was rotated, so we keep going on how strong our team is. So these boys need to sort of step up and play a little bit more. I don't know, consistency really. For the first, there was hardly any chances, to be honest with you. And then they get a penalty with about 6 minutes to go. So you're thinking, right, that's it, that's game done. To be fair, the boys did respond. They turned up like the last couple of minutes, and we got the equaliser. It was an own goal in the end, but it was. There's no just. It's a bit boring. I said it last time we were here. I think there will be a team. I think we will finish the 5 or 6 goals, but we seem to use them all up in one game. Like, we're not. Something's missing. I think there's that click that's not there at the moment, and I just don't think we can get a run together, like most teams want to do. But
is that because of the rotation though? Because it's not just one. I mean, at least the last 3 or 4 games you've been rotating.
I think that goes back to sort of there's something missing. So he's trying to alter it to see what it could be, and dropping one player and not another. Like with Sham, or is it Dan up top, or is it? It's Chris. When you've got so many players as well that play different areas, sometimes that's not a good thing. So on that sense, it may be. I think it's also just like, for example, tomorrow we've got Chatham away, but then after that we're back into 2 cup competitions on the Saturday and the Tuesday. We just can't get a league of 5, 16 games to go. We need to kind of sort of run, but no. So maybe it might have something to do with that, the rotation. It might. We just, there's something very early on in the season. I was sitting there going, I think there is something missing. What it is, I don't know, but I think there is. When we watch us, we have a lot of the ball. We get to that final third, and then we sort of go, right, now what do we do? So I think there's a bit of that at the moment. So hopefully it's just a little bit of a come down from big games that we've had, and we can move on.
Did you mention the Cray Valley game?
Cray Valley? No, I was away. Thank God for that. Saturday, I was listening to that in the sun with a beer, so I made the right choice on that. We listened to it on the commentary, and it was.
Was it as bad as you thought it? Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were talking beforehand. when we were out there that we needed to win this game. So losing it wasn't. I know they're above us, but because of the games in hand, and like it was the same similar story to last year. The sense that we've got so many games in hand, we were like, as a fan base, you're like, okay, we can get the points here and there, but gradually those games in hand run out. So it's like, and then you still chasing. So those sort of games, the teams that are above you, you need to start winning. I think tomorrow is massive for us personally. I
never would have thought at this stage of the season, beginning of the season, I'm thinking that Chatham and Horsham are like 14th or 15th in the league.
Yeah,
I would be thinking you're 3rd or 4th in the league. So
I think
big 3 points tomorrow. I think
totally agreeing. And like the guys have been saying, it's a long way to go. And I think the only thing that's, if you look at the table now, we looked at the league table on a Saturday evening. There's no one from say Whitehawk right up to 8th, 7th, 6th. There's no one running away with it this year. I think it's going to be so congested. There's going to be so many swings to come. I think you will get some surprises in those playoff places. I really do. And I think the league is so competitive. Anyone can beat anyone, like we said on the day. So I think if a team does put a run together, you look at like Billericay, you think, okay, they're fine, but then they go and lose out of the blue. So it's just one of these. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting league this year. You haven't got a Hornchurch and Enfield that are gonna, you know what they're gonna do. I think Chatham were trying to go for it again, but for whatever reason, that's not happening there at the moment. But in 10 games time, we could be talking about completely different teams. So we'll see. Yeah. But I think tomorrow is a massive game for us personally. I think we do need to get something out of it. And then we're on to go on. Sorry.
I was just going to say, you're talking about runs, just so because I know Harvey's going to be listening. I do like the run of Lewis after they started giving it a bit too much chat. Well, I don't know, when was the last time they won a game? I think it's a slide of about five games or something.
Yeah, some time ago. In that sense,
Mark, you remember RV giving it the Lewis fan on Twitter?
Yeah, he was.
Wasn't it nice?
He was a bit overconfident, wasn't
it? And it's
it
always good to see.
But that's a typical Lewis fan, isn't it? So,
yeah,
they only know how to make beer.
I just wanted to ask Rob a question, if it's all right. We picked up a player, striker, during last week. I saw him play at Colshorten, and the last couple of games he's had a bit part. He played on Saturday. His name's Joe Turner. Do you know much about him?
Yeah, Joe Turner and his great beard. His beard went down well with the ladies at our club. To be honest, I think when Don was talking about when he went, it was by mutual consent. He was upset that he had to release him. He played a couple of times for us, and when he came on, he did okay. His final product was sometimes quite snatchy, but I think it's just because he was a typical, to talk about rotation. He was in and out, so he had no chance of sort of settling in for 3 or 4 games on the trot. When he came on, I think he did a decent job, and Dom spoke high of him when he left. So I think he'll do well down there. I really do. I saw that the other day actually. That he'd gone there. So I think you've probably picked up a decent player, and I think if you can put fitness will be a thing. Like I say, he hasn't played much, so but what I saw of him briefly, I think he'll be fine. But yeah, he's I think he just needs to find a place in the team and just get settled. It's hard to say, come in for 20 minutes and then someone make a judgment call on him. But it'd be interesting. Do you think he'll start a lot down there? Do you?
Well, he start against Cray the other day. Cray Wanderers, and he looks quite. He came over and he was really having a go. Like we were throwing everything at him, like the kitchen sink at him. He looks a handy player. But I just wondered, you got more of him than I have. But cool. Well, hopefully we've got more of him, mate.
Well, it'll guarantee you score against us when we play you anyway. So that'll be isn't it?
Yeah. All right, and gang. Well, cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, hello. Mini Rob was there. Mini Rob from Folkestone. What's he up to? Hello, mate. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Hello.
Go on. Hello. Are you a hooligan like your dad? Oh, you've muted. Is that because he said a naughty word? You muted yourself.
Yeah, it's a local school. Say everything.
All right then. Well, listen. Look. Thank you very much, Rob from Folkestone, Rob from Horsham, the lovely Tom Dyson Laurie from Hastings, Mark from Whitehawk, and John from Canvey. I shall see you at the game. Take care, and great luck on Saturday or Tuesday or whenever you're playing. Take care, yeah?
Cheers, lads.
Cheers. See you later. Okay.